Okay, we are back again. When I left off, I was talking about you can't let your hope, uh, you can't lose your hope, because if you lose your hope, then your faith will lie dormant. Let us look at another illustration. A man, we'll call him Joe. Joe was believing God for a very necessary raise in salary. He knew there was an opportunity for promotion coming up, one that had a nice increase in pay. The promotion looked certain. It seemed so certain that they began to pray and believe for a new car and other things that they had long desired but were denied because of limited income. They even began to shop around and contemplate all of these purchases. Then one day, Joe came home in a state of utter depression. In response to his wife's question, he had to answer that someone else got the promotion. Now the whole family has had their hope shattered. They will continue to believe that God can do anything. They will continue to pray and serve God, but without hope without hope for their financial needs. What went wrong here? Their hope for finances was not based on their faith in God, but on circumstances, whether or not Joe received the promotion. But because the promotion and the increase of money with it failed to materialize, they will now live with things as they were before. What should have happened here is this: in this home, their prayer and faith in God should have been based on God's promises, even as Abraham's was. They permitted their hope to arise because of what was happening at work. Their faith was not feeding their hope. The prospect of a certain promotion was nourishing it. So they was getting, basically, this man and his wife was getting caught up in looking to the job for basically supplying their needs and providing for them instead of God providing for them, correct?
Amen.
Joe should have come home praising the Lord, his hope high, not considering anything at work, but considering only the promises. He should have even been saying, God must have something even greater than that promotion. This way, his hope would have been kept alive, and his faith would have had something to feed. Excuse me. Faith is the substance of things, whether they be healing, finances, home, marriage, direction, whatever it is, hoped for. If you are only hoping for the thing desired, then faith is ruled out and you will lose your hope. As I was preparing for this series, I have witnessed many that this same situation has happened to. It has been especially so with those who were praying for individuals with terminal sickness. As the person worsened, their hope diminished. As their hope diminished, their faith had nothing to nourish. Thus, their faith, though still strong in the promises, still lost the battle. We can't let what we see determine how our how much faith we're going to have, or if we're going to still believe, or if we're still going to even receive what we're expecting from the Lord. Because like it said there, that guy was looking to basically the world to provide for him and his family, and wasn't looking to the Lord, and was basically letting that promotion feed his faith instead of the actual promises of God. So just if you have been promised something from the Lord, if the Lord has directly spoken to you and has promised you something, just because you don't see it within, I'm going to say, a week or two, don't give up. Keep pressing, keep pushing, keep your hope alive. Keep telling people, keep speaking positive, because like I've said before, this basically all boils back down to what I've said before, that it all depends on what comes out of your mouth as to what you're going to have. There's people that don't really understand that. They don't, I don't know if they've gotten the concept of it or what, but it says in the Bible that we are going to have what we speak, and what we speak is what we're going to have. I know it's kind of hard to understand, and it's kind of hard to, explain, but, what you speak out of your mouth is what you're going to have. And what you have, you're already speaking out of your mouth. You've already spoken it. So if you have something, if you have ever had a promise from the Lord and it come to pass, remember back on that. Reflect back on that. And let that feed, you expecting something from the Lord now. And because, I've heard people say that if he's done it before, he can do it again, that is very true. But you have to keep your hope alive. You have to keep hope alive, because if you don't keep hope alive, and hope is not nourishing and feeding your faith, you're not going to have anything. You might as well just go ahead and give up, because if your hope dies, your faith is just going to lie dormant on the inside of you, and you're not going to ever have anything, because you're not working your faith. Because like it says in the Bible, in James, it says faith without works is dead. So if you don't have works, if there's not some kind of fruit coming out to prove what you're believing for, then it's easy to believe when things are looking up, when things are going good. Amen. Am I correct?
Amen.
It's always it is so easy to believe that the Lord can do anything. It's in the times that we don't see it, and it's in the times of maybe a few weeks has gone by, and the Lord has, or say a few years have gone by, and the Lord, it hasn't come to pass yet. That's when it's tough, and that's when it comes down to the point of how bad do you want it? Are you willing to stick it out? Are you willing to, continue professing when everybody is basically turned their back on you and said, well, apparently it's not going to happen. Apparently your God is not going to come through for you because it hasn't happened to you yet. You haven't got the promotion, or you haven't got, the house that you're wanting, or you don't have the car that you're wanting. Whatever it is the Lord has promised you, and you don't have it right away. As soon when He first gives you that promise, first speaks that promise to you, He's going to it's going to be easy to believe, but it's in the hard times, it's in the times that it's not come right away, that's going to be the hardest. And that's going to be when it's going to come down to the point of, what are you willing to do to accept it, to receive it, to get it? What are you willing to do? You know, what are you willing to you know, what do you want? Basically, what are you willing to do for the Lord? You know, are you willing to go out and maybe step out of your comfort zone and witness, or pray for someone, or even if you have finances and you know you have the Lord's laying something on your heart and He's wanting you to do something, are you willing to do it? You know, I felt impressed today. I was at the library. I was checking out some movies, and there was a lady in there that had basically some overdue books. She was trying to get some more books for her kids, and I didn't have the money at that time. I didn't have any cash on me, but if I'd had cash on me, you better believe I would have went ahead and paid for her to go ahead and get that taken care of. Because I mean, the lady, the librarian went ahead and let her have the books for her children, but I would have, because I was feeling so strongly. My heart just went out to her, because I understand where she's coming from, because I've been in that situation myself, having a need and not having the money there, the finances there to take care of it at that time.
Amen.
You know, and my heart just went out to her, because she had 4 kids, you know, and I mean, she had a credit card, but they didn't accept credit cards. But if I'd had the cash on me today to, you know, when I left out, if I'd had cash on me when I left out, I would have went ahead and paid that for her, so that she wouldn't have to worry about paying for it. And that's what it's about. That's what this whole thing is all about, is, you know, helping someone in need. You know, putting your own self aside and saying, I'm not worrying about myself, because God is going to provide for me, but I'm going to take what He's already provided for me and help someone else.
Amen.
You know, let Him use me in that, and let Him provide for them through me, and do what He's basically called me to do.
Amen.
So I just want to challenge each and every one of you that watch these videos to, you know, in the hard times, when it feels like this part of the series, when all hope is gone, how do you keep hope alive when all hope is gone? You know, get into your word, get into the word. You know, pray more. If it takes it, fast. You know, I mean, that's about the only thing I can say that you can do to keep your hope alive. And don't let people, you know, take it from you. Don't let people steal it from you just because you don't get it when you think you should get it. Don't let that deter you from not being able to receive it. You know, don't let that dash your hope down and say, okay, I'm not going to get it. Apparently I'm not going to get it. Apparently I'm not, you know, worth it, you know, because you are worth it. Jesus already give it to you. He come to this earth and died on the cross for you. You know, He loved us that much. He loved you that much. And if you were the only one on this earth, He would have done it for you. You know? So don't let a no from God deter you from not receiving what it is He's already told you you're going to get. You know, you already have it. You're just, you have to go through the fire. You know, you may have to go through the fire and get some things burned off of you before you can actually receive what it is He's wanting to give you.
Amen.
You know? Because it could be that you're being led by the flesh in that area, and He's wanting you to be led by the Spirit in that area. You know, and so He has to put you through the fire to get that burnt off of you, to show you that you can't walk in the flesh. You have to walk in the Spirit. You know, because it says like it says in Romans in Romans it says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them who are in Christ Jesus,